Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? So, today is all about AI, artificial intelligence. If you haven't heard of it yet, you must have been living in a pond somewhere. So, today, what I'm going to do is talk through how AI, for me, and I would still class myself as a relative beginner, has been using artificial intelligence and mostly ChatGPT to help me in my property business, in my business, because of course, property is a business, in my communications, in time saving. There's literally so many things that you can do with AI to help you on your way. So it'd be great to hear what you're currently doing. And in a couple of weeks, I'm really excited to bring a person on who is really experienced in running a big management company for serviced accommodation, and how he has used artificial intelligence, so mainly ChatGPT, to absolutely streamline his business incredibly. I mean, I was absolutely blown away when he started talking to me about what he's doing, how he is using AI to really help grow his business and make it move forward quickly. So I think I would really, love to start by just making a big caveat here, is that I am in no way an AI expert. However, I do see some huge benefits already and massive impacts that it has had on my business, even as a beginner. So this is kind of where I'm throwing it out there for those of you who perhaps are just kind of dabbling. For those of you who are still thinking, oh, I'm not really too sure, this is for you. Oh, excuse me. And in a couple of weeks, as I've said, I am bringing on somebody else who will be able to really kind of stretch your imagination, really stretch you on how you can utilize AI and predominantly ChatGPT to help you become, have a better business, have a better life, basically. Now, I really also wanted to touch, before we kick off, the elephant in the room. Is AI the end of civilization? Is it going to decimate us? Are we going to be taken over by robots? I really don't think I need to comment on those particular things. But I think if you look at something like gunpowder, okay? So gunpowder was created for good. Have some people used it for evil? Absolutely. Have some people used it to do amazing things? Absolutely. So to me, that is where AI is. I certainly see it as something that I can personally use and others can use for really good stuff to really help do better work, be more efficient. So for me, I see AI as very neutral, but I am going to use it in a very positive way. Now, I'm quite certain there are very clever people out there that can use it positively, but equally not so positively. There are things like that happening all over the world. That does not mean I am not going to use it to help myself and the people that I work with. So I hope that helps. But it would be great. Please put a 1 in the chat box if you are currently using AI in your business. It would be really great to understand where you are using it and how you're using it equally. So firstly, I just wanted to jump straight in, and hopefully I will be able to share my screen. Fantastic. I think I have to go for entire screen. And you will be able to see that this is my ChatGPT. So if I'm just going to start a new ChatGPT. So if you haven't been on here before, this is what it basically looks like. So very, very basic. Now you can see up here, I have the 4.0. So that means I pay I think I pay about $18, $19. I think it's currently $20. You don't have to do that. Most things that you can do on ChatGPT, you can do with the free version. So it's an absolute no-brainer to jump on and to utilize this opportunity. I now just need to check to see if everyone can see that. Okay, so let me just go back on and just see. Wonder if anyone could help? Could you let me know if you can see my screen? Because I can only see myself. That would be really useful. If anyone could let me know if you can see my screen. So what you have here with ChatGPT is really simple. You've just basically got a messages part here, and you just ask it what to do. So something as simple of, can you write me a poem in Facebook? Yes, thanks, Darren. Can you write me a poem about today? I mean, there's nothing there. I haven't really stipulated anything, and it has written me a poem. I mean, Today Unfolds, it's called. So as you can see, and it also keeps all the way down the side here a history of what you use. Oh, great. So we've got people on YouTube, we've got people on Facebook who can see me doing this. Oh, fantastic. So yeah, you can use something really simple and to help you. So for instance, I do BNI, which is a networking group. Every Friday morning, I'm there at 6 to 6:30 in the morning, and I have to do a 60-second slot about my business. So actually, every now and again, I ask ChatGPT to write me a 60-second poem. So do I sort of stand out in the crowd? Absolutely. It is pretty good. So you can use it for a whole host of different things. So I would really advise you to play around with it, really just get in here. So you can see that I used AI to tell me all about what I might speak about today. Now, the first things that it gave me information on was not that useful. So then I was very specific in what I wanted it to do, and it came back with a lot more very detailed information of giving me sort of ideas. Now, I wanted to do this from my perspective. Oh, thank you guys. You're great in telling me that you can see me. And I wanted to do this from my perspective because, as I say, I still categorize myself as a beginner. When I speak to people who use this all the time, I'm blown away. But I am just, fear, I've got to admit it, a middle-aged lady whose kids, huff at me when I talk about anything technological. So I am taking this from a very basic point. And the second point, actually, I wanted to raise as well about the elephant in the room is, have I fired all the people that work with me because of AI? And now it's doing absolutely everything for me. Absolutely no way. So I actually have paid for my virtual assistant in the Philippines to do, or she is doing, an AI course at the moment. Now, she is far more advanced potentially than I am. But she is today, that's me, Micah, if anyone knows Micah and works with me, today is setting me up a brand new website and taking from this AI course ways that we can utilize ChatGPT to create content, to help us with search engine optimization, SEO, to help us with just so many things, the layout. It may be some picture generators and all of those kind of things. So it's pretty useful. But I want to just jump in. So if anyone is using it. So yeah, guys, those of you who've made a comment, are you using AI or ChatGPT? Put a 1 in the comment if you are utilizing currently ChatGPT or some form of AI. Or 0 if not. Maybe nobody is. So one of the things that has struck me recently that I didn't know, so everyone knows we've got ChatGPT. So I was not aware of these things. So can you see here, explore GPT? So great. So we've got Darren and Adrian are jumping on this already. So who has used GPTs? Okay. So these are what you would call something more niche, something more specific for your utilization. So you might want to. So I was playing around with a logo, and I find ChatGPT with the visual side of things not that great. I think it comes up with some good ideas, but you can ask it. I have a property business called, let's just do it, called Pure Abodes, and I want a very, very simple, elegant, professional, yet friendly looking logo, probably utilizing, not spelled that right anyway, but utilizing the PA of Pure Abodes. Okay, so I haven't written too much in there, and it doesn't seem to mind that you have loads of spelling mistakes because I just write really quickly and don't really worry about that. So let's see. Love it. Yeah. So Lucia, we're going to come on to that. Uses ChatGPT at work to write letters, emails. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. So what this GPT does is it's saying to me, okay, so we would like to do this. I'm thinking about this for sophistication, the design element. So it's giving me a whole host of things that it might do. And it has given me, so you can see it's given me a logo. Okay. But it has spelling mistakes in this. So that's what happens at the moment. A lot of visuals for ChatGPT has spelling mistakes, but don't necessarily give up because what it can do is give you inspiration. So I'm going to say, I do not really like this. Too busy. Can you make it simpler? So there we go. So then it's going to create something else. Yeah, so Daniel's suggesting that you do have to be really, really careful with AI generated stuff. Okay, so if you literally just take what you found from AI and plonk it into Google, they can tell that it's just a purely AI generated piece of work, and it therefore will basically penalize you. So whenever you have conversations, so to speak, with ChatGPT, you want to be really amending it, making it so it is very personal to you. You really want to make all those things. So again, as you can see with what Daniel said, the other things that you might want to use is utilize it alongside, let's say, Yoast, which is a great SEO tool. But again, to help you, it can help you do the research on finding, keywords, all of those things. So don't just purely use ChatGPT because Google can sort of penalize you for that. So going back to this logo, so can you see that it's done something very much more simple? I don't like this at all. And I haven't really found anything that I do like for this. But let's just jump in now. So sorry, going back to these GPTs. So what you can do with these is you can look up, there's trending ones. So there's lots of image generators, writing, all of these different things. Lots of people kind of look to DALL-E to do images and things like that, data analyzing. But one of the things that I just wanted to mention here is you can create your own GPT. So if you're trying to analyze some data that you're regularly going to be doing every week, you can actually, and when you go into here, it literally talks you through how to build it. Okay, so it's not like you have to even understand all of this to understand how to create one. It helps you create it along the way. So let's say, for instance, if you've got a management company for serviced accommodation, and this is what this chap is going to talk about in a few weeks' time, is he's created a GPT specifically to give monthly reports to all of his all of his landlords. But on top of that, so he gives these reports that are very factual, very analytical, but then each month he likes to give a really personalized feedback on how the business might improve, what they're thinking they might change, how other people have been really successful. And he's actually got this GPT to come up with these very unique ideas for each individual landlord. So this is just like mind-blowing for me. I absolutely love that kind of creativity of how you can do that. So let's go back to a straightforward question within ChatGPT. And just as a reminder, guys, for those of you who are here, I am in no way an expert. I'm just telling you what I do. I have got somebody coming on in a few weeks who I would consider much more of an expert. So let's run through what can we do in our property business. I've got loads and loads of things to help us. So how about, let's say you have got a serviced accommodation. You're opening up a brand new serviced accommodation, and you might want to think, oh, so for me, gosh, 5 years ago now, I am not a writer. I am not good with words. So I paid somebody on Fiverr to write me my Airbnb description. He was recommended at the time by lots of other serviced accommodation providers. So brilliant. So I had some ways that I wanted to describe it. I also had a brand that I started off with. And so he wrote it for me. But what you can do now, and this is where I want to see, so hopefully we can now see that I'm now looking at Airbnb. So it says I'm still sharing. So hopefully you can all see that. Yeah, I think you can. Okay, so what we might look in here is you might look at a destination. So I'm just going to look at somewhere near me. So let's just say Maidstone. Okay, I am just going to search some properties. And then I want to find properties that are doing really well. So these guys have got 4.9. So let's find 4.99. So this is an apartment. So that might be quite good, but they're not charging very much. 4.96. That's very nice. So what I might do, these guys, is just, let's say I'm just going to choose a lot, and then I get then I can't stop looking. But let's just find somebody that you think has done well. I have no idea, but let's just take a quick look at this one. And these are a favorite guest. So these guys have done really well. And look at this. They have got 79 reviews. Okay. So let's have a quick look at these reviews. Now, what I'm going to do is copy all of these reviews. Now, in the non-paid for version, you might not be able to copy all of them. But in the paid for version, you should be able to copy a whole host. So hopefully, so what I'm going to do here is to really understand what is it that has made this particular property really good. So I'm just going to put in, this is an Airbnb review from a competitor in Maidstone for, I am looking to understand their strengths and weaknesses and apply them to my new potential serviced accommodation. Plus, I am looking to create a description. Okay, so let's just see what it comes back with. So something very simple. So I'm going to put in all of those listings. So look at that, huge number, huge amount of information there. And then we're just going to see what it says. So it was a matter of just a couple of seconds, and it has now going through, and it is talking about exceptional host. And then not just that, but really talking about, you know, Carolyn's warm personal attention. She's obviously massively responsive. She's really thoughtful. She literally offers to take them places. She offers a tailored welcome pack, you know, so specific milks. It sounds like maybe she gives almond milk or something like that. And she does a lovely check-in without like literally being there. Attention to detail. So look, really massive here: comprehensive amenities, convenience, tailored experience, memorable touches. But okay, so she got a lot of great stuff, but what could she improve on? So actionable insights. Oh, so these are things that he thinks that we should, or ChatGPT thinks that we could do. So this personalized experience, obviously very, very clean. We know that's really, really key. Local guides. So maybe this is something, and offering other things. So ChatGPT suggested a hot tub, smart home devices, eco-friendly perks like solar power, things like that. Create packages. So that maybe they've had some walkers. So is there like a boot drawer that you can put in? Is there picnic hampers? So their weaknesses are the versatility of the layout. So maybe you could really make sure, and I was actually talking to one of our mentees the other day about how we can change the layout of their property to make it more inviting for lots of different people. And then on top of that, with it, this obviously is ChatGPT knowing my brand. So remember, every time you put information into ChatGPT, it is learning more and more about you. So it already knows. I haven't mentioned, have I, that I'm eco-friendly or I want to do anything like that. It literally is giving me these descriptions. So it's talking about eco-friendly features. So it already knows that we use certain things. We don't use bamboo linens, but we do use bamboo loo roll. So we do use these orthopedic mattresses. Obviously, it knows it's in Kent. It's even given some examples: Leeds Castle, all of these things fully equipped. And it's giving you just a few ideas of what you can do. So that was a very, very simple sort of explanation of what you can do. I'm just going to come back here and just stop sharing for a moment. Did everyone see that? It would be great if you could put a thumbs up if you could see me doing that, because I can't see the screen while I'm doing that. So, and again, it's really useful to put in things like titles. So you might put in the most successful ones and put in all of their titles and say, you know, why do you think these were successful? How can I utilize some of these to make my title stand out? Another thing that I used it for was I did a rent to buy recently. And again, I did a spare room advert. And within that, I didn't want loads of people, you know, not realizing that it was a rent to buy. It's really important that they understood that. So so I basically asked it to do basically a kind of a questionnaire. So ChatGPT just helped me do the questionnaire. I had some contracts. I asked it to double check the contracts for me from a legal perspective. And I know a lot of people that have paid, you know, solicitors thousands of pounds. And in fact, ChatGPT replicated what those solicitors had said, but actually added more information as well. Thanks for that, Darren. So yeah, there really is a lot of things. So remember that you could do things like market research. Now, another one that is really useful, I wonder if I've got something in here, but you can also, so if we have just a quick look at ChatGPT. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, guys. So I'm just going to share again entire screen. I wonder if I can do the window. Oh, look, I think I can just share ChatGPT. Look, you can see, guys, I am in no way any good at doing this. So I think I'm now just showing you ChatGPT and I can sort of just about still see everyone. So that works well. So what we could do here is actually say, I have got some information. I don't know if I've got any information here. Just having a look, see if I've got something ready. But what you can actually do is to take a PDF document. So let me just see if I've got a PDF document over here, and you can just drag it into there. Let me just see. I've got my talent dynamics report, so that's going to show you something like that. But so let's say we drag in my personal talent dynamics, and can you see it's just reading that? So you can't put it in like a Word document, but obviously you can transfer any of those things into a document, and we can now ask it, how does my personality enable me to run a successful property business? And where do you think I can ensure I improve? So now, again, very simple. It basically sits there reading my personal talent dynamic report. I think that is, yeah, mine. And it then will tell me from that where I'm good. So the reason I did this is if you wanted to do sort of some market research, you saw other people, they might send you out. So quite often in our local area, we get, I think it's a quarterly, like really in-depth analysis of the local market. And to be perfectly honest, it's got so much information that it's a bit overwhelming for me. So I can put it straight into here and ask it, can you pick out the key features? So here you can see it's read through and it's told me that I'm a visionary with lots of, lots of trails of destruction behind me. Where can I improve? Clearly my following through. I could start a new business every day. I need to have patience, apparently, and I need to be a bit more detail oriented and perhaps be focused and not be overcommitted. So can you see, for those of you who know me, that probably fits quite well. But that kind of shows you really quickly how you can utilize even huge amounts of information, and you can dump it into ChatGPT and it can give you that feedback. So if you're doing, as I just said, data analysis, perhaps on your local area, and you can find lots of information, you can chuck it into a PDF and it will literally read it for you. So for instance, with my book, it will be launched eventually. That is in a PDF, and I have chucked it in there and asked it, and it's read the whole book, it's given its feedback, it's done various things. So that's been pretty useful. And of course you can do comparables, all of those things. So let's keep going through. So it has already mentioned, who was it that mentioned? Yeah, so Lucia has already mentioned that at work she uses it to write letters and emails. I find this so useful. So if emails, I am actually writing them myself. As again, I'm not a wordsmith, so to write things really well, I'd have to think about it a little bit. It would go through Grammarly, where I check all my spelling and all those kind of things. But inherently, I do not write that well, and especially in communication. So if I'm writing an email that I want to ensure comes across really well, that could take 3 days. I could literally write it and then sleep on it and then go back and look at it and then sleep on it again. Whereas I had one recently and I was kind of having a separation, so to speak, a really fantastic person that I've worked with for a number of years, but we were kind of going our separate ways. I wanted to remain really positive, but I wanted to write, a suitable email that would enable us to kind of part in a good way. So I wrote something very simple, and then ChatGPT was really able to help me. We went back a couple of times and I was able to create this fantastic email. Emails to estate agents, I do that a lot, especially recently. I just bought a property. It was really fluctuating, a bit up and down in getting the property over the line. Rather than being rude, which in fairness I really wanted to be, because it was just ridiculous that things weren't moving how they should, I'd write what I wanted to say and then I'd pop it into ChatGPT and say, look, please, can you just help me write something that is polite but also infers the the kind of enormity of what we need to do and how we need to move forward. So that's a really, really great one, I think, for doing that. Direct to vendor letters, I think it's a great opportunity. You know, it could be specifically for purchase lease options or whichever way you want to do, especially if you've been on a course. So I always advise you, if you're doing any of these more kind of no money down strategies, I really wouldn't advise you just to read a little bit and then try and do them. You really need to understand them. So let's say you've been on a course and they might have given you some ideas of letters. I would then chuck them in ChatGPT and get the best ones out, and then send a whole load off. If you hear nothing back, then it would be worth potentially making a few changes and moving it on. So I absolutely love utilizing it for those kind of direct to vendor letters. And by the way, if you can use your own handwriting as well. So what's it called? Calligrapher is a really fantastic one for creating your own handwriting. You can literally type it out and it looks like it's handwritten. So that's really great. So what else can we do? So again, we spoke about, you know, time saving activities. So who is really good at doing, for instance, social media or coming up with new ideas for, I don't know. So I'm always I've created a course recently, and I knew exactly how I wanted the course to run, and I knew exactly the things I wanted to do. But there were certain kind of stories and elements of that I don't know every famous person and all of their intricacies and how it happens to relate to this particular point that I'm really trying to push. It basically enabled me to come up with loads and loads of ideas of potentially famous people who relate to it, and then I was able to choose them and bring them in.